I know we need to get to yesterday's development, but since you were at I almost said Three River Stadium. What the hell is wrong with me? I was thinking about Three River Stadium because their Monday night home winning streak goes back to Three River Stadium. That's my cover. Since you were at Heinz Field / Acrisure, not Accenture, but Acrisure Stadium on Monday night, give me your big takeaway from witnessing Russell Wilson, the Steelers, against Daniel Jones and the Giants in person.
It's so interesting, and I'll start with the Giants because their team looked like a really good football team at times. When you watch them compete against the Steelers, who right now is looking like one of the best football teams in the AFC and in the NFL, they show glimpses of, man, like this could be a good team. Tyrone Tracy ran the ball well. They opened holes. They ran the ball. Daniel Jones, I thought, stepped up in the pocket, made some throws under some pressure. But then, like, you get 2 touchdowns called back because of penalties. All night, it's just different things like pre-snap penalties. All of these little things start to add up. And then you put that together with how they play at home. You're just like, I don't understand this team. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me how they operate as a team, what they're doing, what direction it's going. So it's very frustrating. And then, you know, when you fly back, and I live in New Jersey, so you're flying back and you're seeing all the Giants fans. And on the way to the game, ran into some Giants fans, and they're like, hey, there's a family event going on down here in Pittsburgh, and they're inviting everybody to the game. That's the only reason I'm going to the game. The Giants stink. Then other people are like, hey, I'm going, but I know we're not going to win. Like, that feeling sucks being in New York. And then on the other side with Pittsburgh, the way that they're now able to play the game of Najee Harris running the ball, and you get used to that, and then the Giants struggle to stop the run. So when they start to move everybody up, trying to make a play in the run game, you have a quarterback in Russell Wilson, which we all, you know, I was one of the people like, nope, keep Justin Fields. He's willing to throw the ball down the field, and he threw some beautiful passes Monday night. Being there in person and seeing some of those passes go up in the air and then drop in, and we always talk about it, drop it into the bucket, throwing the ball 40 yards down the field and making it look like a handoff. I mean, it was beautiful. So watching Russ, and you see in that play, they started the game, him getting outside the pocket, him rolling bootlegs, and he got comfortable, and then he was throwing the ball down the field. It was, you know, as they call them, the moon balls were just dropping in there. But I think the test for Pittsburgh starts to come now. When you talk about playing against the Washington Commanders, you're going to play against the Browns led by Winston, and you're going to go play against the Bengals. Like, these are the games that you want to see Russ shine, because as of right now, you beat the Jets, you beat the Giants. Good. They're 6-2, you know, good record. But now you want to say, all right, what does it look like when you play against some of the upper echelon in the NFL?
Yeah, they have a week off. Then it's the Commanders. Then it's the Ravens. Then short week to the Browns for Thursday night football. And I said all year, hey, don't be upset, Steelers fans, that you don't have any of your divisional opponents till week 11, because by week 11, chances are 1 or 2 of the quarterbacks in your division are going to be injured. History tells us that that's going to happen. It got worse for the Steelers. They got the Browns after Deshaun Watson with this Jameis Winston thing that looked pretty good so far. So that game gets a little bit tougher, and we will learn about them a lot about them over the next few weeks. But they won't be playing until week 10, when they face the Commanders at the field formerly known as FedEx. All right. And one last point. Chris Sims always gets to a moment in the season where he starts rooting against the Steelers to make the playoffs, not because he doesn't like the Steelers, because he doesn't think they can win in the postseason. You get that deep ball working, and you give teams that deep ball to think about, all of a sudden you're a team that can win in the postseason, right?
I agree, and you have a quarterback that the team trusts. And I know he fumbled at the end of the game, but just the way they were playing, I think before it was just like, hey, we're up. The game's we're just going to run and hope it all works out, and the defense will make the play. And they needed to make the play anyway, but Russ throwing the ball downfield and you having to cover Pickens. And then if Calvin Austin can be more of a deep threat and a guy that can throw the ball too short, it just puts so much more pressure on the defense. So this is not the normal Pittsburgh team where they float around, 500, a game above 500 or whatever, and they're going to get to the playoffs and lose. And I understand Sims' point because we saw that the last few years. This team really felt like, being there in Pittsburgh, it felt like, man, this is a playoff-style team that can go and win either at home or on the road in the playoffs because that style of football travels anywhere. So to me, they could definitely be a dangerous team in the postseason.
And since they're off this weekend, Mike Tomlin available, the coaching staff available to evaluate potential moves they can make at the trade deadline that comes up in 6 days. And you feel like they've been waiting for the right move to make that fits their long-term goals and their short-term goals. They could use a receiver depending upon who's available and what it would take to get him. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.